Alrighty. Let's see if we can get the chat bot in here. Let's see. Perfect. There we go. Whoopsie. There we go. Alright, we're looking good. Let's see, Botrix. Botrix, are you in here already? Let's see how fast the chatbot is tonight. Fingers crossed. Give me just a moment while I check something here. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Get rid of that one. Seeing while I'm doing that, we can see if the chat. No, not yet. Say, come on, bot. Takes him a minute sometimes. Sometimes I gotta go here, confirm, maybe that helps. Here we go. Here we go. Da-da. There we go, get rid of that. Let's see. Da-da-da. There he is. Say thank you, Botrix. There we go. Thank you, Botrix. There we go. And now I can see it. Excellent. All right. Let's see if we can get some people in here. Let's play a little, Dead by Daylight. Let's see. There he is. Here we go. That one's good. Yep. Alrighty. Let's just get right into it, shall we?
Who wants to play?
Who wants to play? They're expecting blood flavor. House for the adept. Let me make another build. Why not? Let's mix it up. Why don't we mix it up? Let's see. That one's good. Yep. Let's see. Double check here. To play. Perfect. Yeah, let's build a build, shall we? What would be good with Springtrap? Now, everyone expects blood flavor, so we're not gonna do that. Maybe build something around his add-ons. What is something kind of tied to his add-ons? Safety, teleport faster. There's gotta be something we can kind of play off of here. A combination people haven't thought of yet. Actually, yeah, hang on a second. Hang on. I've got an idea. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hey, Glitch, thank you for hopping in. Just thought I'd kind of chill tonight now that my hot tapes submission is done. Kind of chill, build a build, you know. This is going to be a very chill late night gaming evening. Thank you for hopping in, and thank you again for helping me come up with that hot take. Gave you a little shout out in the description there as well, and hopefully you liked it. And fun fact, that was my first time doing a video through DaVinci Resolve, so I learned a lot making just that little video, but, you know, sneak peek, you know, I kind of wanted to upload that to just kind of be practice with DaVinci Resolve as well. I don't think it came out too bad. There was a weird little glitch with one of the one video clip I used from Bing Gun. Don't know why it did that. Might have to keep an eye on it in the future. I'll need to see if there's like custom render settings I can do to like maybe beef the frame rate a little bit. You know, we'll have to see, but you know, you never know. I might be insane. Hang on. Let's see. But yeah, hopefully you liked the video. 4, 6, deactivates. Yeah, I didn't think that was. For other purposes. Hold on. We're cooking here. We're cooking with portals. Let's see. Didn't notice you tagged me in the description. That's not, well, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna claim the credit all for my help, or blah, 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 claim the credit all to myself. I mean, you helped me make like half of that. What is it? Hot take. So you definitely earned the call out. Which again, thank you so much for helping me do that. I'd love to have you stick around in future live streams to help me do more of that. We don't want Lullaby. Okay. I'll explain what I'm doing. I'm sorry I got kind of quiet there, but I was really just thinking about this, and I kind of want to explain what I'm doing here, I think. Yes, because Bonnie's guitar strings are absolutely amazing for knowing where survivors are. Like, the second they so much as breathe on a gen, it will, like, very noticeably start to turn red. Like, even the slightest, teeniest little bit. So they don't have to be on it long at all before I can immediately tell where they are, right at the beginning of the match and go right to them. Right, it's like a slightly watered-down lethal, because especially longer into the match, obviously the more they progress a gen, the more cherry red it is, the faster I know which one to go to, and there's, like, think of all the time I save not playing guesswork with where the survivors are. But the trade-off is, you know, it's super, super good, and it was amazing in the PTB, but as you see, it got nerfed. It completely removes your undetectable after you go through a security door. Well, darn, that sucks, I think. Is there anything we can do to get our terror radius back? And yes, there is. Give him a Spring Bonnie skin. And yeah, like, this is kind of the closest to it. You know, hopefully maybe they'll give him the head for it as well as a cosmetic, but we will see. I know we're going to be getting a Blighted Spring Trap come October, which I am excited to see what that looks like. And I do hope we get more skins as well. Hell, I'm hoping that Scott and, Behavior are very happy with how the FNAF chapter went and are already in talks for a part 2. Because I'd also really like Michael Afton as a survivor, but whatever. But on top of that, we also know where they are as well. This is a very goofy add-on that not a lot of people use. But when I'm aiming my axe, I get Killer Instinct on all survivors within 4 meters of any security door, which you wouldn't think it's that great, but at the same time, like 9 times out of 10, that's usually right next to or within the range of any generator. And on top of that, it reveals the aura of all security door numbers. And again, on top of that, if I throw my axe, I can throw my axe at a door, it will travel through the door, and it will exit straight through the connected security door. Well, this is better to, like, chain on things, actually. Yeah, let's see. What would be better for this second add-on? Embedded in them. See them maybe doing a Vanny skin. I really wanted them to, but specifically for Legion, I think that would be perfect for her. However, sadly, I swear to God, I remember watching an interview Matthew Cote did these past few months, and that was, he brought that up specifically, like Vanny as a skin for Legion, and I remember him saying, like, that wasn't gonna happen, which super bummed me out because it's just so perfect, you know? A younger adult character kind of bum rushing with a knife, right? Like, it's a perfect fit. I guess they didn't feel that way. Or maybe Scott did, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I know, I thought it would be. 'Cause, again, like, looking at Legion, it just seems perfect. Like, here, I'll show you... I don't know if you've seen Dead by Daylight, but, like, Legion would be... Yeah, perfect for Vanny. Yeah, again, like this younger adult character. Yeah, you could see Vanny as Legion. with a knife kind of bum rushing. Here's the Mori real quick. Yeah, just imagine that as Vanny. I'm sick, right? Like, that would be amazing as Vanny. In my opinion. Let's see. Oh yeah, add-on. Hang on, we're cooking. Scott sees Vanessa as more of a victim, and he very much does. I would agree, but at the same time, well, and like that's where her like plot ended up, right? But like clearly, what is it? Vanessa did some awful things, not just with like, putting, like doing the bidding of Glitch Trap and helping put Burn Trap together and everything. But I'm still, because of FNAF AR, like very, very, very convinced, and the deleted emails attached to FNAF AR, I am thoroughly convinced Vanny and or Miss Afton, if not both, were involved in like a mass remnant harvesting operation under the covers of the Pizzaplex, to try and resurrect William. She definitely did a lot of bad things, but again, you could argue a lot of it was that was her innocence, because still, because Glitch Trap was in her mind the entire time, obviously. Like, it kind of forced its way in there to the point where the first guy Glitch Trap tried to grab rejected him so bad he tore his face off with a paper cutter. That's more in-game. Hang on a second, actually. Furtive's better. Yes, Miss Afton, also known as the Pink Gal. Well, I mean, if you've not, seen my Afton family two-parter theory that I did a while ago, I really do go into that, and that's also one of the big, I guess, like, hot take theories my channel is riddled with. Because I really believe, especially in Security Breach, they've been setting up Mrs. Afton for a while. Don't know if he'll follow through with it, but I think people really, really, really overlooked the sticking her room in Security Breach. And, or, you know, we're focused too much on the sticky notes and didn't notice, like, the Afton family staff bot scene with Mrs. Afton at the head of the table for some reason, and no one's really brought that up since. I definitely think that was not an inconsequential detail. Just something that hops the obsession. So yeah, we want to try and get that undetectable as long as possible. Well, and hey, Pink Gal, like, you say that's a crazy thing. Like, I remember all the way back in FNAF 2, people making the pink guy theories, because of the off-color character in what the Foxy Go 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 minigame. People thought there were two murderers for the longest time. But I guess it never really got addressed. And Scott was a little more, you know, loosey-goosey with colors, but retroactively, it would be massively interesting if, like, William and Miss Afton were kind of acting as a husband-wife killer duo. That would be interesting. Don't know if they'd go through with that, though. I would think that would be really interesting. Game of Foot. It's kind of goofy. Yeah, the Color Brothers. I never heard them called that. I just remember hearing, like, Pink Guy and Purple Guy. Like, I also had, like, it wasn't an actual theory, but, like, I had an idle idea, like, these past few years ago, before I was an actual theorist, of, like, maybe that was representing William before he committed Charlie's murder, and then after the fact, he's, like, depicted as purple every time since then. You know, maybe kind of murder staining his soul or something. Like, that was the best I could come up with. But even then, in the Foxy Go 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 minigame, like, it's depicting, like, the 5 missing kids at the MCI, like, dead on the ground, right? Like, that wouldn't really fit. Or the DCI, either or. So it's kind of like, do we want, like, a better chase? Do we want, like, I think keeping the undetectable as long as possible with the lack of that is better. And, like, the idea with this is to make it, like, god-awful to heal, which is ideal. A little lazy. Remove the axe. We're not really going for grabs. I want this add-on to be good, but it doesn't seem like it is, sadly. 24 meters to survive with an embedded axe are all oblivious, and if they're injured, they get broken, so they can't heal either. Reveal their aura to you for 3 seconds. Next one themselves reveals their aura to you for 6. So I can just keep coming back to them. That's just kind of like very specific as well. This might be... Rip Curtain might be the one to do. Because if I'm going to be like bullying the obsession constantly... Yeah, when an axe hits a survivor, they get hemorrhaged and mangled for 60 seconds. So I hit them with the obsession with the axe, they get away. My terror radius transfers to them. But with furtive, I kind of want to catch the obsession. So I don't really want to ever leave them. That is a pickle. Yeah, this build is already kind of contradicting itself. Hang on. Yeah, I need something that obsession swaps, so I'm not just tunneling out the obsession. I mean, feel free to chip in ideas as well. Yeah, I gotta deal with that issue of it, like, this build contradicting itself, because, like, the idea is I hit them, they've got Dark Devotion, oh, they can run away to go heal, oh, wait, no, they can't. At least for 45 seconds. But more than likely, they would booger up a skill check, and I'd know where they are, and then I can go follow them. So maybe it would be better to have a chase one if it's gonna last 45 seconds anyways. Maybe. Calendar lock becomes the obsession. Oblivious for 60. Well, I don't have a chisel, so I can't chip in. Ha 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 ha. You see, like, it is hard to build a good build. Maybe we really lean into it. Hang on. Merciless Storm. 20 seconds. Can only trigger once per gen per trial. That's the real kneecap of Merciless. A step by 8 seconds. Call of Brain. Damaging agent becomes active for 70. Progresses 150% normal. It's a good skill check. Energy effect by this prayer. You get a loud noise notification. Okay. It's not super good. It's kind of niche. That's good for like one very specific build with Trapper. Self-healing. Thing is, like every time I bring a self-healing perk, they never self-heal. They always go to everybody else, and I never get value out of it. We've got to chew on this. Is it really good to, like, try to get them to booger a skill check? Because ideally, I don't want them healing after I do that, because I bonk the obsession runs away. Actually, yeah, let's cook there. What else can I do to... What are all my options to obsession hop? Nemesis, okay. We might have to give up one of these two spots. Like, pairing them together would be, like, insane. But it's really only good for Trapper. Like, which, if you really want to, I can show you the Trapper skill check Paradise build that I came up with, which is very funny. But I'm trying to, like, main Springtrap to, get good at him. Yeah, it might be better to... Well, like, Furtive's already our Obsession Hopper. So really we wouldn't need to worry about that. But again, it's kind of contradictory, because to do that, I've got to down the Obsession, and I don't want the Obsession to run away. But what would do that would be Nemesis. So I hit the Obsession. Actually, yeah. I hit the Obsession. They get my terror radius for 45 seconds. It's got an even bigger 40-meter terror radius, which is huge. That's like a whole, like, corner of the map. Yeah, depending on the map. What is it? And again, what's key to Dark Devotion is the survivor with the transferred terror radius is also considered to be inside the terror radius for other purposes, which would be these two right here. So I bonk the Obsession. Oh, they run away, they get away, I'm undetectable, and they're in my terror radius for 40 meters. Okay, they think, oh, he got the axe of me. Okay, gotta go, run away. I'm the Obsession. Oh, now time to heal. Oh, wait. Choleraphobia activates on top of Unnerving Presence, because they're, again, survivors in your terror radius, survivors in your terror radius. So when they go to heal, 50% penalty to healing progress speed. Skill checks move 50% faster. Skill checks within your terror radius have a 10% greater chance of triggering skill checks when repairing or healing. And the triggered skill check success zones are reduced by 60%. And yes, you are correct. Both of these stack with each other. So healing basically becomes impossible for like 45 seconds. And also, it's kind of a... what would you call it? Like an aura tool, because I can know where they are every time they fail a skill check. I would get a loud noise notification. Well, at least on a gen. I'm not 100% with a. Yeah, no, you don't do it when they're healing, but they just never get to heal if that's the case. And while all that's happening, I've got Nemesis, which I can swap the Obsession if I let them stun me or blind me. Stun you using a pallet or locker. Or no, so not blinding, but if they lock or stun me with a pallet. Yeah, and you see like how creative you can get with these builds. So like when all that happens, and eventually I see, oh, the Obsession is healed and they're on the other end of the map and I'm chasing someone else. Oh, okay, I eat a pallet, boom. The Obsession swaps to them. They're oblivious. And now I'm after them. I get the hit on them and the, process repeats, and then I leave the Obsession and then I go to someone else and it repeats. But on top of that, we can also make it even worse with Ripped Curtain, specifically. because when if I do get an axe hit specifically, they get hemorrhage and mangled, which hemorrhage just makes the blood trails a lot more clear. But mangled specifically increases the time to heal by 25% on top of that. So I really want to axe hit, hit either way, but axe hit the obsession and then immediately break chase and go to somebody else. Because they're probably going to go heal within 45 seconds, then they'll give up, and then nobody's going to want to heal because they don't know what's going on. It's very funny, at least, and I'm willing to try it, at least. Let's see. Let's just get into a game and let's see. This is the fun of just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. But the Bonnie's guitar strings, like, always knowing where they are. And, like, I can kind of get my undetectable back if I do hit the obsession with the axe. The other benefit, again, of Dark Devotion is I'm undetectable for that whole 45 seconds as well, which is plenty of time for me to get to a door, teleport to someone else, and get the jump on anyone else, like as if I still had the undetectable when going through a door anyway. I think we'll have to see how this goes. Either way, it should be some good practice. And again, if you've got any questions or suggestions for a build, do let me know. But it kind of sounded like it was gonna, like, start there. Okay, there we go. There they go. Let's see. Let's see what map we get. There you go, guys. Even more blood points. I'm also just super stoked that Not Real Name replied to that so fast as well, and just like immediately said like, oh yeah, I'll immediately put this in the hot takes vid, which is awesome because like I'm sure she kind of has to go through them to kind of narrow it down to choices. So I am glad she just immediately wanted to add mine. Here we go. All right. Well, let's get it.
I've got a big surprise for you.
I've got a big surprise for you. Okay. Yeah, these door spots are kind of goofy. They do be gooby. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. See how it's getting a little red there? Yep. Ready or not, here I come. Nah, we don't chase that. Give this a lickety-kickety. Hop in here, wait and listen. Watch this. Look, look, look. Oh, nope, we go to this one. This. Alright, we got the axe back. We hop in here. Now we go to this one. And then we'll go right back to that guy. Yeah, nice try. There we go. Just got our first hook.
Don't move.
There we go. At least that door's in a good spot. Let's see here. Go back to this guy. There we go. Now we're cooking with portals. Uncle Iroh, I haven't seen The Last Airbender in forever. this. Yep, go back to this guy. Yep, they popped it. And he's who we want. We definitely want to get the axe hit as well. There we go. So, alright, yeah, now we drop him immediately. He got hit with the axe. We go back for this guy now. There we go. Now he's gonna go try to heal in a corner, and he's gonna find out he can't really do that.
And stay there.
There we go. Go back to this guy. There we go. Nice try, Slick. There we go. We kick that. Now hop in here. And now we're right back in here, and we're just constantly moving. Nope, nothing there. Okay. Hop back in. Ooh, he finally was able to heal somewhere. And we're buying ourselves a lot of time, and we go back to this guy here. See how good Bonnie's guitar strings are? Yep, this guy's regressing. Nothing here. Wait and listen. Nothing. Let's see. Yep, here we go. Nice try. She greeted that a little too hard. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Now she's got my tear radius. Excellent.
Stay a while.
I will read that in just a minute. Excellent. Most excellent. I'm gonna throw you up in a corner over here.
Oh, you should cry for help.
Let's see. Head back over here. Now we let her go enjoy that. Now we go over here. Constantly moving, she's got my tear radius. Look at that, we're spreading the joy around. Good, and he's leading us right to her. Oh, really? Okay. And look, we don't have a terror radius again. And that's her out. Oh wow, you were a little brave there. Oh, they're over there. Yep, they can't heal. They can't heal. Interesting, okay. Cute, okay. There we go.
Don't go anywhere.
Him out. Check back over here, make sure this is still regressing. Go. We're just keeping the gravy train rolling. Kick this. Here we go, buying myself as much time as possible. Especially because I can move around so quickly. Double check this guy now. The other one's over here. There we go. Yeah, I really wanted to do that head-on move. There we go. DC lightning fast. Look at that. Full sweep. They were... I swear, these survivors need to be in a quick draw competition. They are lightning fast. Like, what was that, a second or two on the DC? They were fast on that. Let's see, where did he go? Can we find him? I knew he was somewhere around here. Maybe he went this way. Where did he go? Up. There we go. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Look at
There you go.
so worthless.
Yeah, I see she commented after like 40 minutes of the TD video being up, so I know DSA Day Shift at Freddy's somewhat popular. Okay. Fan game. I do want to... Maybe that'd be an idea. Maybe I start playing some of the fan games like she does. Just be completely unoriginal. They do look fun. That one I definitely want to do is Into the Pit. I will say that. I've already watched a playthrough, but it's good enough to where like I feel like I would want to do it on my own at least once. Alright, so that seemed to work pretty well. And unless you've got any suggestions, we'll probably just try that again.
I'll be back again.
Whatever happens, I'll be back again. Because yeah, you saw like after not too long, like the obsession was like regularly swapping. I was consistently undetectable. And they were just, at a certain point, never able to get heals off because of Dark Devotion, Rip Curtain, Colorophobia, and Unnerving Presence. And they just kind of gave up trying to heal. And then everything was just a one down from there. Yeah, it'd be perfect. It was like a full minute you got with it, but, you know, is what it is. I think this might be a decent build, though. You know, kind of light on the slowdown, but pretty decent anti-heal build. while also having me undetectable quite a bit. Da, da, da. Let us see. Let us see. Yeah, we're looking good. There we go. Let's try it again. Oof. Let's see if we can make some magic happen. With Matthew Lillard. Ready or not, here I come. I think it's so cool as well, like they let him do that line, it's the same line he did in Scream. As, what is it, Stu? There we go.
Time to clean up this mess.
Time to clean up this mess. Let's see. Where are we going, oh mythical, magical... Right here. Oh, Nia. Yeah, okay. Now to this one. Oh, are they doubling up on it? That's red. Yep, they are. There, you. Good, go heal. There we go, now we hop in here. Double check this guy. There we go. Spread the hooks around. Kick this. Oh, you were brave for staying there, my dear.
Get back here!
There we go. There we go. Really wanted to get that blind for some reason. Fair enough. There we go. Now we hop in here. Head over here, check this guy. Hi, Ada. There we go. I bet she wasn't expecting that. She thought she was very safe right there.
Whatever you do, don't move.
There we go, and get this guy regressing. Then we hop in here. And we go right back here. Hopefully they don't pop it. They very well might. What? What? Yeah, that was okay. That wasn't the door I wanted. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't quite know what's happening. Okay. All right, whatever. I don't know why my teleports are taking me to somewhere completely different, but fair enough. Let's see. There we go. Hit this. There we go. Hold that for me. There we go. Yeah, you greeted that a little too much. go.
Stay a while.
Let's see. Yep. Okay, yep. Fake him out again. That's it. Oh, that guy's still regressing. They're back there. Yeah, I could care less for the unhook. You guys are okay, get rid of this. Good. There we go. Didn't quite know where that was. Okay. Double check this guy. Go. Wait for it, wait for it. Now. There you go, you go enjoy that there. What? Okay. Okay. There we go. Go. Wait, he's gonna hop on it. Just watch. Wow, they got that one fast. Nice try, Slick.
You belong.
Go. Yeah, there must be doubling up on gens to pop that one that fast, because that one didn't have diddly on it. Double check this guy. Yeah, it's still regressing. Let's see. Wait for it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and preemptively teleport. There we go. We want to hop in here. They're going to get comfortable, so we're going to go ahead and hop in here. Oh, sick. There we go, where we're getting multiple of them at once. Yeah, they're up there on that one.
Don't go anywhere.
Alright, hop in here. Now. Sniped, if I say so myself.
And stay there.
Good, that guy's still regressing. We want to head over here. we go. Now they got the unhook. We want to hop in here. We do not want to let them heal. So we're going to go right back to over here. She's probably still boogieing. Yeah, she dipped fast. So now we hop back in here. We go back to the other gen. Yeah, they're healing in a corner. You know, not much I can do to stop it. Looks like they're back on this gen. Yep, would you look at that? I caught a goober lacking. There we go. Hold still, goober. There you go, enjoy. There's her Audi 9000. Kick this. There we go. I myself as much time as possible. Pickle sauce, I hit the wrong one. Alright. We're down to 2. We're gonna want to go back to this one. None of the others have anything. And we're gonna listen. We're gonna watch and listen. Because we kind of want to keep this guy protected. Yeah, they were just healing in a corner somewhere. Wait for it. Now. Oh no, she dipped fast. Okay. What a baby. Wait. Now. Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. Excellent. Wasn't planning to get you, but we sure did. That guy's still regressing. We're buying ourselves a lot of time. Good, and none of the other gens have progress. Excellent. Now. There we go. Just wait. There we go. That delayed him long enough. There we go. Break this. We hop in here. They're wanting my attention. They're wanting to get back on this gen. We hop up here. Nothing. Hop in here. Wait, 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 wait. 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 Now. You gotta trust. Hold it. See, you gotta trust. You gotta trust. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta give them hope. They need hope. They need all the hope they can get. Audi 9000. There we go, and it is not looking skibbity for him. Oh, yep, we go to this one. The other one's gonna regress. They gave up on it. Where'd the other one go? Let's see, hope. Just remembering like the hens videos about it. Hold it. Hold it. Alright, now we're gonna do something stank nasty. Watch this. And I'm pretty sure if I just hide in my security door here, it technically isn't me, camping the hook. Where? Oh, down here. Okay, let's try it. You gonna go for the unhook? No? Okay, let's see then. Hi, Ada. Are you trying to pull a fast one on old Uncle William? I don't think it panned out.
You'll be my next creation.
You'll be my next creation! I guess the music died. Excellent. I don't know why I bother half the time. They kind of rush out pretty fast. Let's see. Is what it is, but that was very good. I'm starting to like this build. And she gets the shreddy chair. Yeah, no. Supposedly the rumor was originally that Mori was going to be stuffing a survivor in a springlock suit. But supposedly they couldn't get... The rumor is, at least, they couldn't get the animation to look right. So the walking blade-matronic is like the remnants of that Mori, supposedly. Boy, red glyphs. Here we go. Please let me know if there's any other builds you want to see, or if there's anything FNAF-wise you wanted to talk about with like the latest video or whatever while I'm here, but... You know, I'm having fun with this build. It's seeming decent. I'm surprised how decent it's doing with no gen slowdown. Uh-oh. We got a Twitch streamer. Ooh. This might be a pickle. This might be a true test of skill. If I can really just keep finding the obsession and keep hurting them, it kind of makes it impossible for everybody to heal, especially if I keep moving like that. And taking advantage of his teleport while I can. Which, I mean, it seems to me, if you've got a mobility ability, haha, with a killer in Dead by Daylight, you should probably use it. You know, in a game where seconds matter, every second spent walking to your next target is a second not spent downing them. Let's see. Oh boy, double streamers. Excellent. Ready or not, here I come. His voice lines are very great. And hey, maybe we'll switch the cosmetic next one. I just try to go with the ones people don't see as often. Mix it up a little. And because his jump scare is very funny. Oh boy, oh no, Garden of Joy. This will be a test of skill. Gamer mode.
I know you're out there.
I know you're out there. Alright, gamer mode. Someone's already on the cams, you hear that? How much is that survivor in my cameras? How much could that survivor be? How much is that survivor in the cameras? Bring back that survivor to me. Wait for it. I hear a sneaky little survivor. Watch this. Hello, Trevor. I don't know what I was doing there either. There we go. Thank you for sticking around, though. Oh, and you were my obsession. Even better. So I want you to go heal. I'm gonna hop in here. And let's see. Is someone somewhere else? Yep, they're right here. So he's gonna go try to heal in a corner and suffer for it. We're gonna go right over here. And look at that. I caught a gamer lacking. Yep. And now you are my new best friend, my dear. There you go. Now you go heal. There we go. Now we give this a lickety-kickety. Now we hop in here, break chase, and we just keep the gravy train rolling. We'll go right back here. She's gonna have a magical time trying to heal. Hey, what's good, G? There you go. You get it too, Mr. Twitch streamer. I'll hop in here. And look, everyone's getting hurt. We hop in here. And right back to here, and let's just keep the gravy train rolling. Hi, Trevor. I'm gonna grab you by the face if you don't mind. Here we go. Up you go. Give this a cute little lickety-kickety. And watch this. We're gonna hop right in here and keep the gravy train rolling. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now. Look at that. I caught a goober lacking. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You're wanting that? By all means. I got you, G. I got you. You want to get my attention that quickly? I can oblige. There we go. Now you hop right there. And you go try to heal now. Now we hop over here. We're in here. We go over here. He went over this way. We're going to surprise him. Nope. There we go. You go do that. We hop in here. And we keep it moving. And they never know where to find me. And we'll just keep it moving over here. Guess that they went back and doubled back over here. Yep, and would you look at that? I caught a goober lacking. I don't know what I was attempting to do there, but it wasn't. Oh, big dead hard. Big old dead hard. Biggest dead hard. We've got the biggest dead hards. What the heck are you doing? Alright, now we hop in here. Like, the sheer audacity of that move just kind of flabbergasted me. Now just double back right over here. Let's see if they're doing something dumb. There we go. You hold that for me, Mr. Twitch streamer. Do not do that. Oh, I wasn't planning on hooking him, but thank you for that, by the by. There you go. I will hook you, though, for your trouble. Don't worry me, I'll be right with you.
Belong.
There you go. Hold that for me. Go try to heal now. There we go. Now we hop in here. I'm starting to think this build might actually be nasty. There you go. You hold that think you greeted that. There we go, grab you. Throw you in basement real quick. Something I forgot, the number 87 appeared in the source code of all the teasers leading up to FNAF 4's release. I remember that.
Stay there.
Why is that? And it's not even FNAF 4 since the Happiest Day minigames in FNAF 3 consist mostly of FNAF 2 characters. God, that is a pickle. While I'm gamering, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think that could mean? Oh, big old dead hard. Stop that. That's getting annoying. Okay. Oh, okay then. I guess I didn't drop it. There you go, now go heal. Tried to flick it. There we go. I mean, the only other thing that comes to mind is this theory that 87 location is the same building as Fredbear's. That's a possibility. Yeah, whatever. Just... Trill's still trying to stun me with that. And it's kind of working. I don't know if you guys were goofing off from the beginning or I got very lucky. Oh yeah, right up here. Made you lose distance a little bit. Hold that for me. And to be honest, that might just straight up fact based on what FNAF 2 tells us. Let's see. What would the significance of that be? Yeah, the door spot here is kind of dookie sauce. That one, but you know, hey, it's whatever. Oh boy, I've lost a gen already.
You'll pay for that.
Excellent. Session swap. The building the bike victim died is the same as the FNAF 2 location. Would that still jive and make sense with the grand reopening of FNAF 2? Like, that it kind of built itself after, like, what happened? Like, if they were going to do that, wouldn't you think they'd at least try to do it in a separate building to kind of, again, like, distance themselves from what happened before? That's my only, like, initial hesitation with that. Check this guy here. Go. That. Kick this. Grab this. Wait for it. Now. Look at that. I just straight up power move through that pallet.
Don't go anywhere.
They already did move through the first Freddy's, which is a different building and closes in 85. So you think... Like, run that down for me. I'm very much in gamer mode, and I'm a streamer, so I've only got 2 brain cells. Okay. Fake the moonwalk myself. Straight up dip. Oh, that. Hell, it saved you. Tree. Okay, I guess I whiffed that. God's name. Oh, you guys were giving up and now you're actually wanting to try. That is very interesting.
Get back here!
This FOB horse shit is getting annoying. There we go. Go deal. There we go. Now go deal with them over there. This is the only gen they've got progress on. For it. Yeah, they're busy healing. Fredbear's closes. The company opens the first Freddy's at a different building, which lasts until 85. Then the 87 Freddy's reuses the original Fredbear's. Okay. I could dig it. Head back over here. Here you go, now go shoot. Go. You guys go back to healing. Hit this. Up in here. Back to this guy. Oh, wow, you were afraid of me. Get that guy regressing. Check this guy. Can we scare here? No, nothing. Okay. Check back to here. Kick this. Running out of kill. Yep. I don't know how in the hell that was possible. Go, try to body block. You're going to give me this. There we go. Or you'll get an axe. Either or. Go. That was tight.
Oh, you should cry for help.
Go. There we go. Double check right back here. Back in. Back to here. Big dead bird. There we go. Do not let them heal. Yep. Right back to here. We immediately chase. She's gonna go get him up. Yep, they're right there. Oh, okay. I guess I should have seen that coming, but that was legit impressive. go.
I've got a big surprise for you.
Got a big surprise for you. And there are the DCs. Did not see that coming. Here we go. There we go. Excellent. Oh, and everybody left anyways. I don't think they were that happy. Why camp hooks? I wasn't. I was in my doors. You're not supposed to use the ambush part of your power. Don't do it. It's me.
I'm ready for some fun.
I'm ready for some fun. Alright, now I will properly read and give my 2 brain cells to all of your comments. Let's see. The other day you asked why the toys appear in FNAF 4, and I didn't have an answer, but I think there might have been more to it now that I've thought about it more. Because something I forgot was the number 87 appeared in the source code of all the teasers leading up to FNAF 4's release. Okay, yeah, and I remember that. And why is that? And it's not even just FNAF 4, since the Happiest Day minigames in FNAF 3 consist of mostly FNAF 2 characters. I'd have to look at it again. Earmark me, but sure, I'll run with that. I'll assume. GG's from Laura. Hey, thank you. I saw you guys dip so fast. I was like, uh-oh. I think they might be mad. Just kind of testing out a new build and doing FNAF lore at the same time. Thank you, though, for playing and hopping in. What is it? What was it? The, what's his face? What's his name? Blank. Was that the Ash? Whoever the guy was, what was it? He just stun-locked me so much in the beginning with that moonwalking. I'm like, what? It's just like, you're gonna do that in front of me just in the open? Like, okay. Fair enough. Like, I kind of had to respect the power move there at first. But then you guys were, what was it? Like, actually trying to power through the gens, and I'm like, ah, crap, I really gotta try. Oh, yeah, it was you. What was it? Yeah, no, the first time you did that, like, off on the side near where that train car is, I was just like, what in God's name is he doing? Like, what? I just got Eerie 1, so I'm pretty much just going. I mean, hey, fair enough. I definitely get chilling. Like, again, like, I'm trying not to sweat too hard. Like, part of it, like, you know, like, once I saw everybody was trying again, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, got time to get into gamer mode again. Gooning, sorry. Yeah, fair enough. I get that as well. Like, yeah, no, yeah, and that's just what we're doing, just kind of, and yeah, if you wanted to see the build, it's like, oh, if you guys are wondering why you couldn't heal that well, and why I was obsession hopping and always, tickling the obsession, this is why. Dark Devotion stacked with Choleraphobia, Unnerving, Enemy to, Obsession swap, Bonnie's, so I always know where you are. I get my Undetectable with Dark Devotion, and Rip Curtain also makes it even more hell to try and heal. You think this is bad, though. You should see my Trapper's Skill Check Paradise build. I've gotten some fun comments with that build, which actually, if you guys are here, I'll show it to you real quick while I wait for Glitch to fill me in on those FNAF lore questions. Yeah, where is it? Oh yeah, my Trapper's Skill Check Paradise build. Oh boy. Now, no quarter can kind of swap for either no quarter or oppression. Either or do great. Um, good luck next game, and hey, you as well. But this build is god awful. Basically, I just protect Huntress Lullaby with all my traps, and they can't get any skill checks done ever. I've had P100s send me very bad messages with this build. Because remember, Bloody Coil, anytime they disarm it trying to get to my totem, they're also injured. And if they want to heal, all of this comes into play because more than likely they're going to be in my terror radius because they're close to it, the totem. And I am too. Then if they get caught honing, so like, yeah, that's just a nasty build. But yeah, no, we're just kind of chilling with this one. Da 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 da. Let's see. Where was it? You said. Fredbear's closes. Company opens the first Freddy's at a different building, which lasts until 85. Then the 1987 Freddy's reuses the original Fredbear's building. Or wait, hang on. I needed a backup. Hold up. Read through all of these. Happiest Day minigames in FNAF 3 consisted mostly FNAF 2 characters. Sure, yeah, I'll assume that. I don't remember offhand, but yeah. I mean, the only other thing that comes to mind is the theory that the 1987 location is the same building as Fredbear's. Okay, and like, let's assume that it is. Why is Scott drawing our attention to that? Like, why is that a huge detail? I get, like, important enough for him to put in a mainline game like that. And to be honest, that might just straight up be a fact based on what FNAF 2 tells us, that the building Bite Victim died in is the same as the FNAF 2 location. Do we know that for sure? I assumed, assuming you're talking about the Bite of 83, that happened at a Fredbear's. And like that, you know, based like what we see with the Crying Child minigames, like, yeah, that is clearly like a Spring Bonnie and a Freddy there. Like, that seems to be a Fredbear's that he gets bit at. They already did move on through the first Freddy's, which is a different building and closes in 1985. I'd want to know what you mean by that. Power play. Fredbear's closes. The company opens up the first Freddy's. Okay, the order of things. Fredbear's closes in 1983. Yes. Company opens the first Freddy's. It was now technically the first Freddy's opened slightly before Fredbear's closed, but close. You know, hand grenades and close enough, and horseshoes, right? Different building and lasts until 85. Yes, that first Freddy's location. And then the 87 Freddy's reuses the original Fredbear's building. Okay, so we've got 3 buildings here. Fredbear's, Freddy's 1, Freddy's 2. Fredbear's closes. The company owns the first different building, yeah. And then the Freddy's 1 lasts until 1985. And that's closed down, and they don't use that building anymore because that's the one the MCI happened at, from what I'm understanding here. Then the 1987, so the Freddy's 2 location, reuses the original Fredbear's building. Why would they do that if they've already got like a second location? Because at least with Secret of the Mimic and Afton talking about the franchise location, we just went into that, but the specific wording he uses, I forget exactly what it is offhand, but the sister location. Yeah, the one from either FNAF 3 or whatever. Like, I forget what it is. We talked about it yesterday. You're going to have to remind me of that. But the sister location. There were only 2 Freddy's locations open by the time of the MCI. Because the one and the two, like the sister location, unless he's talking about another Freddy's, in which case the most there would be is two Freddy's, if not one. Um, duh, duh, duh. Fredbear's closes. Yeah, the company opens the first in a different building. Lasts until 85. Okay, yeah, that's where the MCI happens. After 83, when the crying child died. 87 Freddy's reuses the original Fredbear's building. Okay. Sure. I could buy that. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that'd be so interesting to think about in retrospect that we technically have seen Fredbear's before. It's just the, FNAF 2 location just, rebranded. That would be a neat twist, in retrospect. I just checked the FNAF 2 newspaper and it reads Vintage Pizzeria Given New Life, which would imply they're using an older building. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. I'm buying it more and more. Not see that coming. Yeah. And then your current message. No, that's still true. Bite victim dies at Fredbear's in 83. Yep. I'm saying the same building gets reused for the 87 location. Yeah. And I see what you mean now. Gonna excuse me with the Vintage Pizzeria Given New Life. Like, yes, in retrospect now, with all that we know, that does make sense to me. That tracks. So, Fredbear's, Freddy's 1, Freddy's 2. Fredbear's and Freddy's 1 are open at the same time for at least a small period of time. Crying Child gets bit from the prank from his brother and friends. He dies. Charlie dies also at that location, presumably. We don't really know for sure. Charlie died at wherever there would be a security puppet, but it could be either or, in theory. So that happens. The Fredbear's closes, and now they're fully shifting to Freddy Fazbear's. They've got the Freddy's 1 and Freddy 2 location up. That lasts until 85 when the MCI happens. Freddy's 1 closes. And then they rebrand and to reopen one of the two unused locations now. This is 1985. And so they say, "Oh, instead of going to the one where people just died at the MCI, right? We'll go back to the original where I guess just the crying child and Charlie died, which was the original Fredbear's." Okay. It's a bit convoluted, but yeah, that does track with me. Do I have everything right? Because that sounds right to me. It's convoluted, but because I'm just kind of wondering, oh, wait, why would they just kind of play hot potato if they still kind of own three locations? Well, because the restaurant that the MCI just happened at, that they're trying to kind of, avoid, is the Freddy's 1 location, right? Obviously they don't want to, just kind of mop it up and reuse that immediately. They'd rather go to the one where the bodies are more cold, I guess, for, to put it that way. So that makes sense to me. We've got a Freddy's building that has been sitting, Fredbear's, excuse me. We have a Fredbear's building that's been sitting empty since 1983. It's just been sitting there for 2 years, And hey, it's got less bodies on it. I could definitely see, Fazbear being like, yeah, if we need to have at least 2 locations going and we want to reuse the 2, better to reuse that one, right? That makes sense to me. Hopefully we got that at least. But do please let me know if I could do better with that. And the best pay-to-win skin. Glitch trap. I wonder how much better this will do with how much more quiet he is. That sounds right, and funnily enough, FNAF 1 happens after FNAF 2. Yep. And we can see that they have switched back to the first Freddy's. Ah, yeah, and that would make sense too. Now it also explains why that place is so haunted, not just because the animatronics are there, but that's also the location that they died at. Yeah, that would really fit. So that would technically mean then that between the three restaurants, FNAF 1 takes place in the Freddy's 1 location. The one that was open concurrently with Fredbear's. Which is interesting. Yeah, we got this. So cool. They keep using the same two buildings. But again, technically there'd be three, right? Fredbear's, Freddy's 1, Freddy's 2. Because again, I need to find that specific line again, but William brought up like the sister location. Or no, that was Phone Guy. I'm insane. The sister location. So while all that was happening, there had to be at least two Freddy's open before the MCI. At least two. Over this one. Been spursed, okay. Check this guy here. It's a whiff and a half. Oh. Near. Sick. Okay, sick. Not doing so skibbity. This one. And just straight ran. Oh yeah, there is the mysterious sister location that we apparently never learn the name of. What is it? the sister locate, the one in singular. Well, and yeah, that's what I was talking. It has to be another Freddy's location that he's talking about. Unless there was like two Fredbears, but that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, he just says Skibbity and now has zero Riz or whatever that means. um, what is it? But like, yeah, like unless people are gonna argue he was talking about two Fredbear's locations, which before the merger and before like it really took off, like it doesn't sound like Fredbear's was that successful. I would think if there would be branching locations, it would be what is it? With Freddy's. Um, that's my opinion at least. When he's talking about the sister location, not only is he doing it in the singular, I don't think it would make sense for it to be a Freddy's. And again, there was only a Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's open at that time, so like, what else could it be? Excuse me. Like the FNAF 2 location didn't exist yet. Um, Heck, I'm pretty sure the Circus Baby restaurant or rental or bunker or any of that existed yet either. Um, so yeah, no, I'm pretty confident in saying that, especially because it was before the MCI, it was another Freddy's location. Well, I know we reached an impasse on this, but I think Pizza World is still a very likely option for the sister location. I just don't think that it fits in the timeline. I'd have to find the actual line. What is it? Yeah. Hang on, because like now you're really bugging me. Not like in a bad way, but it's like, okay, I really gotta find where the hell we found that audio log again. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see. What is it? Um. Yeah. Hang on. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple simultaneous spring lock failures, the companies deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees. This is on night 4 of FNAF 3. And this is in the past few days. This is like the day before, or like the 2 or 3 days before the MCI. Because on night 5, it's mentioned the Spring Bonnie animatronic in the safe room was noticeably moved, which that's again probably William preparing for the MCI. Um, Also, sorry to keep me playing the actual game and having a chill time. No, like I wanted to make sure that this is actually what this said, and yes, it is. I'm not insane here. Um, what is it? I'll flip it. Hang on. Here. Let's see. Pretty sure. No, not that one. For the love of God. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Move it out. Let's see. Yeah, that one. There we go. Okay, yeah. Now you can see it too. Because I think Elizabeth's death also happens prior to the MCI, so the time slot would match up. Again, like we were talking about that last night too. It's like that can't work because that kind of breaks everything. Like the crying child has to die first, then Charlie, then Elizabeth. Like I don't understand how this would like because again, like my immediate counter to that, as it was before, is William is explicitly said he made Circus Baby for Elizabeth. Circus Baby and the other Funtime animatronics were made specifically for remnant harvesting, for capturing and kidnapping kids discreetly, so William could harvest the remnant from them. Right? How and why would he be able to do that before he even like knows what any of this is? Now, granted, with Secret of the Mimic now, you can make the argument that William knew about what Remnant is, which sure, but even then that wouldn't explain why he would have a motivation to just out of the blue, again, before the MCI, before Charlie's death, before the crying child's death, you're saying, William just apparently spontaneously, at the zenith of their height, decided to start kidnapping and killing kids to like copy some weird soul remnant thing he like saw at the Murray location. It just doesn't feel like it fits. No, the order of the death still remains the same. Well, that can't work. Elizabeth's death, uh, can't you can't have Elizabeth's death be prior to the MCI, but also keep the death orders in the same. Hang on, Elizabeth dies after Charlie, but before the MCI. Hang on. Okay, that annoys me because that could work. Hang on. Yeah, after Charlie, but before MCI. Crying child dies first. Fred Bears. Okay. Charlie dies at either a Fred Bears or a Freddy's. Same year. Not sure when exactly. Okay. Both 83. MCI doesn't happen until 1985. There's a 2-year gap. You're saying Elizabeth dies after Charlie and before the MCI. So between 83 when both Crying Child and Charlie die, but before the MCI in 85. Which, granted, that would also track because William. Yeah, okay, hang on. And then I agree with you now because what is it? William. It's implied that William did the MCI because he didn't trust the animatronics to kidnap them before. So, yeah. So, well, yeah, and actually, yeah, that would still track, with, William's whole line of, like, I will put you back together, right? Like, that's presumably in 83, so he spends 2 years, like, and that's probably when he remembered, right? Like, oh, I remember what I saw at the Murray location when we took that over, right? Like, there was that freaky white tiger thing from, like, his kid that died, right? Clearly there's, like, weird supernatural whatever stuff going on. And whatever we haven't seen in this next game coming out as well. William looks at that, remembers, and he's like, oh, okay, now is the time for me to experiment. Like, how does this work? Like, clearly it did then. There's something to all this. And, like, him seeing what happened at Murray's, like, kind of puts him onto. Because, like, that was always my big hesitation with saying William started the Remnant experiments earlier than the MCI. Was, like, if he didn't know, like, or like, even at the very least, Charlie's death. Um, because if he didn't know what remnant, any soul goo, whatever stuff, like, if he didn't know, how could he, like, try to obtain it? You know what I mean? Um, um, but now, yeah, that makes sense now. So in this current order, which I think I agree with you on, the other two don't change. It's still Crying Child, Charlie, Elizabeth, MCI, DCI. If I'm understanding you right. Wait, when do you think Elizabeth dies? Well, pretty much what you just said, right? Somewhere between 83 and 85 at the Circus Baby restaurant, whenever that was opening. Pizza World was only open for one day. Yep. Gives it plenty of time to be between Charlie's death and the MCI. Yes. There was a 2 year gap between 83 and 85. Yeah, 2 years is a long time to have one day available. So yeah, um, and again, that was kind of, especially before the MCI in '85. That was kind of like the zenith height of Freddy's. Um, so yeah, that tracks with me. If that's what you're saying, I agree with that now because again, that's the part that was always throwing me off. And again, with Secret of the Mimic now, that does fit more now. Like theoretically, William knew about Remnant Soul Goose stuff all the way back in 1979, right? When presumably they took over the MCM facility and saw this weird, white tiger thing floating around. Clearly, this place is like reeking with, haunted crap. Um, that's odd. Maybe he didn't. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he didn't know all the pieces of like all this like remnant stuff, and like maybe even if the secret ending of Secret of the Mimic is canon, um, and like maybe one of if not both of the endos are possessed, um, like some way somehow. Like it stands to reason William and possibly Henry and others like found out about all this souls and remnant and stuff from MCM, which makes it easier for me to agree now that like, oh, how did William like so quickly after the Crying Child's and Charlie's death like begin the remnant experiments? Because I always thought before it was like, oh, that kind of like gave him just the desire to want to go that way, but he didn't really begin the experiments until after the MCI. But now we know he was doing it years before. He had 2 years to kind of experiment with it before even the MCI. And he's like, I'm guessing there were incidents where it's like, oh, these things are going to get me caught. Got to do it myself. And boom, you've got the MCI in 85. Um, very, very long-winded. I know going back and forth, that annoyed me. But yeah. Well, I think you could argue Charlie possessing the marionette would be enough for William to make the fun times. Yeah, and that was always the assumption before, like of him moving that direction to try and begin the experiments, but I wouldn't think he would know like everything, like comparing one for one, right? Like cuz he would know he killed Charlie, you know. And granted, like that was so funny as well. Like I had assumed when the teasers were first coming out that like maybe the mimic was the one who actually killed Charlie, which was a wild theory I put out, I guess now in retrospect. Um because I'm like, oh, Glitch Trap, its whole thing was copying William. The Mimic's whole thing is copying people. If it's tied to Glitch Trap, maybe it was copying William, and maybe it actually killed Charlie. But no, that doesn't seem to be the case. Um, and that would kind of like minimize the earlier, plot. So, um, but yeah, Charlie possessing the baby. Like, would it be enough? I think it'd be enough to get him to start testing. Be like, oh yeah, this is real. This isn't just some. But you can't really say it because he would know it would be real. Like, again, just taking a leisurely stroll through the MCM facility, right? It's like aren't like not even just the apparitions of White Tiger, right? Like think of all the places in the MCM facility like Arnold is just like freaking out and I don't think that's just because of the mimic, right? But like he's freaking out like randomly like in places where the mimic isn't even like present, right? Like you remember that weird like birthday cake room what is it behind that little atrium where you can kind of go to Big Top and Sleepy Moon and all that? Like in that room for like that I guess leads to Jackie's area. But before you can even really even get in there and that room is totally safe, he's just like like I don't think that's a mimic thing. I think that's a this place is haunted. Yeah, the cake room. And it's just, like as someone again, who did security years ago, I can tell you, yeah, like sometimes you can just step into a room and, for lack of a better term, like just feel the aura, right? Um, like of just like bad juju. Um, for lack of a better term. Um, And again, if Arnold was getting that, surely William would too. Again, just taking a leisurely stroll through the place. Um, which, stands to reason like, oh, he and Henry and anyone else high up in Fazbear would have known about, all, like, oh, hey, like, possession and souls and hauntings and ghosts and what, like, all that's real, you know? Maybe, and I highly doubt, like, he knew about, like, you know, remnant and like you can take the melt it down like get it to transfer to a thing and you melt down the thing and you can inject it in yourself and you're like immortal basically. You're haunted but you're basically immortal. Like I definitely doubt that he knew that at that point. I think it took a lot of experimenting and I think maybe he was on the right track. But what's also interesting about the MCI, or not MCI, the Murray's location, is all the Fazbear employees who got stuffed into suits by the Mimic. I'm almost wondering if like the stories of that are what led to the rumors of like that girl talking about them, in the FNAF 4 minigame. We're like, oh, you're Saturday night, you get stuffed into suits, because the MCI hadn't happened at that point. And I remember talking about that yesterday. So, like, if it's not the MCI, where did the girl hear the rumors of that from? And it's like, oh, a couple years ago in '79, the Mimic, killed a bunch of employees and put them in suits. That could probably be where the rumor came from. Also, if Bite Victim is possessing Fredbear, yeah, and it was teleporting around, yeah. I think William would probably look at that and go, huh. Well, yeah, you know, just like we did in the stream. And everyone said I was cooking when I was like, huh, wait a minute. Has anybody brought up how, like, White Tiger seems to be, like, a parallel to Golden Freddy? I think, yeah, I guess with the big difference that there's only one soul in him. Probably. Oh god, what's the possibility of that? What's the possibility White Tiger is, like, truly a Golden Freddy parallel, and there's two souls in White Tiger? One being David, one being Fiona, and that's where her soul actually ended up. But that's just a theory. Okay, theory, thanks for watching. Alright, let's stop in another cave. God. But yeah, I do think that's probably where he got that parallel. Which would also be interesting, because that would kind of imply, like, William intentionally did that? I mean, maybe not. Like, I don't think he did. Like, well, no, because the bite victim, the crying child, was never stuffed in the Golden Freddy suit. Like, sure, his soul ended up there, like, partially at least. But I think it, you know, there's no way William could have been like, oh, like, all these other people had to be stuffed inside to possess them. But my son never was, so my son's soul probably isn't in there. His soul's in the ether, you know. Both boys die on their birthday, yep. Possess giant versions of their plushies, yep. And can teleport, yep. Add it to the pile. We've got 3 men now that all look the same, have the same characteristics, and the same profession. That's weird. The baby isn't mine. What do you think Scott meant by that with the Immortal and the Restless? Now that we're talking about old lore. The baby isn't mine. With all that we know now. What did he mean by that? I think I got her to jump out of her seat. There we go, we head up here. Nice try, Sable. Interesting. And they're boogieing. Yeah, it's still regressing. We'll have to go heal in a corner. Yeah, let's get this thing out of here, whatever it is. Let's see. I think the purpose of Immortal and Restless was just to reinforce the general theme of gaslighting in Sister Location. That's a very odd gaslight. The baby isn't mine. Like, what is that gaslighting? Like, you would think, like sure it is. Like, oh, hey, you're right. The baby, like, yeah, like from what you're saying, that's just as valuable of a saying as like, I didn't buy the basket of oranges. Like, and that would have just as much relevance. Like, I would think it'd be a little more than that. That. Gonna go heal. Does he come back? No, I don't believe so. There we go. We'll scare him from over here. Head here. Oh, damn it. They were getting on it fast. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, yeah, that's what she's doing. Get over here. Yeah, they really don't want to tussle with me. They are definitely W key holders in here. Let's see here. The only other time in the franchise where Immortal and the Restless has been referenced outside of uh, da, da, da. hang on, hang on. I think the purpose of Immortal and the Restless was just to reinforce the general theme of gaslight. Well, again, yeah, my thing would be like, Clara, I didn't buy the basket of oranges. Like, it would matter just as much if it was just about gaslighting. I think there's a specific reason he's saying the baby isn't mine. In the same game, we get introduced to Circus a Baby. Baby lies to Michael. William lies to Michael. Vlad lies to Clara. I mean, yeah, all that is true as well. And if anything, it's also like kind of bringing the attention more to Circus Baby as well. And the only way you see Vlad and Clara make up is after the private room ending, or in other words, the fake ending. The only other time in the franchise where Immortal and the Restless has been referenced outside of Sister Location is in the Sister Survival Logbook. Yes, as it's written from the perspective of Michael. Um, right, and the joke is that the baby is obviously Vlad's. Um, yeah, and that is odd. Like, again, maybe it's me trying too hard to connect it to the idea, like, oh, like, what if, like, Elizabeth wasn't actually Williams? I know people have toyed with that theory for years. What if that's what he meant? Like, baby isn't mine. Elizabeth isn't mine. But granted, though, that wouldn't really make sense to me because, like, Elizabeth was his favorite. Like, why would he try to push away the one kid like he really actually does like? It seems like Michael he liked the least, and Crying Child he was, like, neutral about, I guess. Although, I guess depending on, like, who do you think in Midnight Motorist is the one sitting on the chair? Like, is that Mrs. Afton, or is that Michael? You know, who knows? But I would think that would be Mrs. Afton because, like, Michael didn't really seem to be the type to, like, really stick up and defend his brother. If anything, he was the one, like, torturing his brother. Um, and also Elizabeth says, "Didn't you make her just for me?" Yes. Which again was also really weird because what did William mean by that? You know, this robot machine that I'm using to harvest remnant to try and bring my son back. Uh, why am I also saying to my daughter that I made one of them for her? One of them for her. You know, why is that? Um, yes, Midnight Motorist, the most simple mystery in the franchise. I mean, yeah, that's pretty high up there on the if you could ask Scott one question, what would it be? Uh, yeah, one of them would be to clarify Midnight Motorist, which, to his credit, with what we've seen from, what is it, 5 laps at Freddy's, The kart racer game we thought wasn't going to be important. What is it? Like, even in, like, the demo of the game, like, the Midnight Motor, like, the purple car, you see, being driven around in Midnight Motorist, like, it very specifically having, uh, like, a yellow rabbit, like, at the end of its antenna is about as clear a sign, and also called the Midnight Motor, that Scott could give of, like, oh yeah, Mustard Man in Midnight Motorist, that is William. Like, he couldn't make it any more clear. So he's trying to clarify Midnight Motorist. Slowly, it looks like. Hopefully we'll get more. I don't know about the couch person, but I do think Michael is the runaway. I mean, especially if that's not Michael on the couch, then that has to be Mrs. Afton, and Michael would be the runaway. Who I guess in that instance would kind of be, like, tortured by visions of his brother. I've seen other people also kind of speculate that maybe that's the shadows kind of intimidating him. The dice on Midnight Motor has 87. Huh. That is interesting, does it now? Let's see. We'll pull it up. Let's see. Can we really get a good look at them?
The upcoming fight.
Yeah, thank you. It's fantasy. Da 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 da. Kind of hard to. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I'll take your word for it. It doesn't quite. Maybe it's just the angle you need. But yeah, this is about a clear. Like, this is Scott trying to slowly clarify Midnight Motorist, because for years we were like, oh, who is this Mustard Man who's clearly not purple? Is it William? Is it someone else? Is this William pre-murder? Like, is this an accomplice? Like, who knows? But, like, again, calling this the Midnight Motor, making it purple and putting a yellow rabbit on it, like, other than spray painting, like, this is William Afton's car on the hood, like, this is about as blatant as Scott can make it with us. Which, hey, to be fair, but if Midnight Motorist happens in 87, that makes it even worse, because just why? I really hope that that's not an 87 on it. Could it? The crying child's not there. Be just Miss Afton and Micah. God, I hate that it could. Well, no. Because at the beginning of Midnight Motorist, it says later that night, and it's implied to be tied with the other minigame you get in that game, which is the one where you see him murder Charlie. Which we know for a fact happened in 1983. Also, it has tire covers just like William's car in the FNAF 2 minigame. Yeah. That was an odd detail back then. So yeah, like, all these little details together, like, yeah, that, like, again, like, I would still ask him to, like, clarify all that we're seeing in Midnight Motorist. But this is a step in the right direction. Like, even just knowing for a fact that, yeah, Mustard Man is William, for sure, that alone is a huge help. Um, that was always the assumption, but it was never confirmed to happen on the same night as Charlie's death. What else could it mean by later that night? Like, what other night would it be referring to? Because, granted, sure, it could be after 83, when the crying child's dead. Mrs. Afton is still there, and so is Michael. Well, granted, Michael stays with him till adulthood. Which, fun fact, if you do the math on it, somebody pointed out that by the time of FNAF 6, Michael is technically in his 50s. Something I didn't know, fun little factoid for you. Now, I'm sure with the remnant goo kind of flowing through him, he's kind of immortal. Um, so he probably hasn't aged a day, being, well, and also, rotten corpse and everything, since the, I don't know, when did Sister Location happen? After FNAF 1, before FNAF 3? Yeah, yeah, because it was at the FNAF 1 location, William was getting the, remnant from the original animatronics. He gets spring locked. He's MIA for a long time, and then he gets a message from William like, hey, if I disappear, go do this down in the bunker. So yeah, Sister Location happens after FNAF 1, but before FNAF 3. Interesting question. What do you think Junior's is? I'm gonna kind of give up immediately and just kind of agree with game theory and just say it's just a bar. Like, despite what everybody like thought for years and years and years and years, it like people try to hammer a square peg into a round hole. Um, I think Junior's is just a bar. Like, I don't think Junior's is like, it's not like Weenie Hut Junior's. It's not Freddy Fazbear Junior's or anything like a restaurant. Like, a Junior's we've never like would have only seen mentioned once in this specific mini game in this specific game. I think it's just a bar. I think it's in like the bouncer outside saying like, "Hey, you can't be here. Don't make it harder than it has to be." Like, that sound like a guy who like, and again, if he like, especially with him like just doing the murder in like a fit of rage, it shows like how like upset and just like destroyed he was from the death of the crying child. Somewhat unrelated, but did you know that apparently Edwin's father was also named Edwin? Yes, Edwin Sr. Um, I forget how I know that, but yeah, somewhere in Secret of the Mimic that it's mentioned like, yeah, it's Edwin Sr. Or Murray Sr. One of the few things we know about um what is it, Murray Sr. Is when Edwin's talking about him, and mentioning that like uh Fazbear can't be trusted, Dad was right. Which is very interesting because that implies like either bare minimum Edwin Murray Sr. knew about Fazbear, um and the people with it like years before, or even interacted with them and had a bad experience, and like distanced himself from them ever since, which is really interesting that I don't see many people bring up. Like, they can't be trusted, Dad was right. Like, that's an odd thing to say. Like, how would he have any, relation to Fazbear or Fredbear's even? So that'd make his son Enwood Jr. Yeah, it would. I see the connection you're trying to make, and I think that's extremely stretchy. What did, like, Edwin, like, what? So, like, is Edwin survived the explosion in Secret of the Mimic in his office, and M2 leaving him in the rubble. He crawled his way to freedom, took on a separate identity, and started a bar that William Afton ended up drinking at years later. And he called it Juniors because he was Edwin Jr. Like, is that what I'm supposed to take from that? Um, oh, good God, it is very late. Um, yeah, it's not. William's house is right next to Edwin's business. Yeah, it's not. William's house is right next to Edwin's business. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, yeah, cause well, and I guess that's it. So you do think he ended up moving into Edwin's house? Well, in the Gary, they kind of would have had to. I think. I think the parachute. As of this moment, the parachute ending is the canon ending to me. As of this moment, I'm very open to being wrong about that. But assuming the parachute ending is the canon ending, we see not only the MCM facility, but we see that house, Edwin's parents' house, on the hill burning as well. Um, I think things like David's toys and whatnot clearly survived and were later given to the crying child. But I don't think that house survived because clearly the mansion is much bigger um than the smaller house we see William have later in FNAF 4, or at least the simulacra of it. Um, I think they bulldozed the house. They salvaged a lot of things from it, but rebuilt a smaller house on top of where the original stood. No, I agree with that. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, assuming again, the parachute ending is the canon ending. You know, the one ending where we see a fire happen and burn that house down specifically, because you can kind of see it out in the distance that it is on fire. Um, Obviously, by the time the fire department gets out there to put it out, uh, yeah, it's pretty much going to be unsalvageable by that point. Same for a lot of the factory, I imagine. It looks very ruin-esque, I'm sure, by that point. So they probably just, again, salvage things like, some of David's toys clearly, like the phone toy and whatnot and the caterpillar, like, those are the exact same ones we see in FNAF 4. Um, things like that might have survived, but the original house was bulldozed, I'm betting. And the smaller house we see the Aftons have later gets put where the original stood. Um, which would also make sense because that, as we see, has connected tunnels going all the way to the MCM facility. Which would also make sense because that's also, like, tied to, like, not only where the Pizzaplex ends up being, but also connected to the, Circus Baby's, rental. And, like, all these things are kind of connected underground. Parachute is also the only ending that guarantees M2 doesn't get fixed, which kind of has to be the case since he's still pretty hostile in Ruin. Granted, like, none of the endings really do that, though. Like, none of the endings we got in Secret of the Mimic, show the Mimic ending up sealed behind a wall, uh, down in the basement of MCM, which is what I kind of thought was going to happen in one of the endings. Granted, maybe that would have been a little too obvious, which the canon ending was. Um, like, you trick the mimic down there, and it's like, he waves, and it's like, oh, okay, see you guys in 50 years when some idiot sets me free. That'd be a little obvious, which the canon ending was, which, sure. But at the same time, like, none of the endings really show that happening, which, granted, is my argument why I think we're getting another game before this arc is wrapped up in I'm betting, like, a Security Breach or Ruin 2. It'll be either a Security Breach or Ruin 2. M2 breaks the data diver when he takes it from Arnold. It looks like he puts it in his chest. And a lot of people are debating, like, what was the Mimic doing with, like, that, exec level perm data diver. What was he doing with that? Why did he just want that? Presumably to do something to try and, like, fix the M1 endo. Has been my assumption. Which is also why, like, yeah, if you saw in the hot take thing, like, off in the top corner, right, like, the M2 mimic Houdini, that's because, like, again, like, one of the theories I did, the M2 mimic Houdini is a reference to that, because, one of the theories is, I am a believer in the two endos theory. Where is it, in case you didn't see here? It's getting late, I'll probably end the stream here in a minute, but if you're bored, I would highly recommend watching this, good god, almost 30-minute theory video I did a couple months ago, which I do still stand by this one. I know it's very much a hot take with Secret of the Mimic, but I honest to God think there's two endos. I think there's M1 and M2. Yeah, the two separate endos. I mean, I go into it a lot in the theory, so again, once I end the stream, I'd highly encourage you to watch it. Like, one of the biggest things off the top of my mind is in the audio log, when she's talking about, it makes sense. You have to try again. Build another. Do you build a program or do you make a program? Design a program. Program a program. Build a program? That's weird verbiage. I build a house. I build a fence. I build a wall. Build, it sounds physical to me. Is the first one. But again, I go into a lot more detail if you really are curious about the two endo theory, but that's kind of tied to that discussion, though, that there's definitely more. And I mean, a theory I want to do before I hop off here, I will say, I really want to do a theory on, like, something I've seen literally no one at all, like, none of the big name FNAF theorists, or even the smaller ones, have talked about, but something that was pretty glaring in a Secret of the Mimic, is what's up with, like, the power situation at MCM. What's all that, like, molten orange goo stuff we see, like, flowing throughout the MCM facility, and is, like, it just has something to do with recycling or something, and it's, like, powering everything, even though that doesn't make sense, because to, like, melt things down, to, like, melt aluminum cans down, that takes fire and power and energy. You can't create energy from that, so, like, how is that a power source, right? Like, if I've got a bunch of molten aluminum, it's just molten aluminum. Like, I can't hook that to a battery, you know what I mean? I think there's something very weird, very, very weird going on with the power situation at MCM. And I don't know where to begin researching that, but that is a theory I want to do one day. So yeah, I'll probably end that there. What is it? Again, if you're bored, watch the Two Endo Theory. Give me commentary. Have a good night. I'm probably gonna end it there. And thank you for sticking around. And I'll always reply to comments and whatnot, but I think that will do it for tonight. Thank you for watching, and you have yourself a good night. See ya.